Okay, so before we start, I want you all to stand up. Sige, let's just stand up first. Okay. We will not be stretching, but basta siya. Sige, thank you for standing up. Then, okay, for those people at the back, you can actually move in front, but it's up to you. So let's just start by saying, o diba? Dr. said mo Okay, sige, I want you all to just say hi to someone on your left, then just a quick introduction about yourself, like left. Okay, no one's left, right? That works as well. Okay? Okay? Okay, I see people interacting, that's good. Okay, thank you so much. Then you can sit down. Okay, let's start. Oh no, what happened? So today, I'll be talking about how digital freelancers use AI to improve productivity in 2025. And, oh no, okay. Thank you so much for the focus. Diba? Sige. So for today, let me have a quick introduction of myself. I'm Ro. I'm actually, I have this small marketing agency called Beside Digital, and we help local businesses increase their revenue with marketing automations. So I'm also involved with communities like WordPress and Cebu Digital Freelancers, and I have a pre-launch startup called Sprout Team, which basically connects learners with various opportunities and help them upskill. So yes, you're an event that we've organized with Cebu Digital Freelancers, and our goal is actually to use the power of community to help everyone succeed. So what we do is learning sessions like this today, and we are actually interested with three mandates for us, like core values within the team. We have collaboration, diversity, and freedom. So we wanted to make it a space for everyone, whether you're a newbie or like in your intermediate or like experienced freelancers, like share your experiences with each others. And in fact, in all of our meetups, we have volunteer speakers from the community, and we will continue to do this. And we have like this platform wherein we welcome freelancers in various stages in their career, whether a newbie or in your expert level already. And also, we want this to share this freedom actually with everyone and continue to create things that matter for the society. And yes, quick question here, like, can I see a raise of hands for those already like freelancing with clients at the moment? Okay, one. Okay, I see several hands. To those who aren't yet freelancing, students, for example. Students? Oh, yeah, nice. And how about those like with corporate jobs, full-time work? Anyone in the room? Okay, nice, actually. So we have this diverse group of people, and this is basically the goal for us. And today, I actually asked, in creating this presentation, I asked my friends who are already freelancing and how they use AI. And here are some of the answers that I got. So I summed it up to 5 key productivity categories. The first is actually content creation and copywriting. Who's actually doing this? Okay, yes, I see a lot of hands. That's nice. Actually, with the tools used, I would recommend like you can just choose your preferred tool. Especially, most of these tools are actually improving month after month. Like if we compare to these tools like a year ago to how they are performing now, it's way different. And in fact, like we see releases every now and then. If you're on Twitter, for example, yes, I still call it Twitter. And you will realize that actually, for example, Sam Altman, the founder of basically OpenAI, which is the team behind ChatGPT, they're doing launches like on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So they see a lot of updates and they're basically improving. And then the other competitors like Claude and Gemini, and Gemini is basically by Google, they're also improving. There are other alternatives like DeepSeek or the thing with all these platforms is you don't have to be everywhere. You just find a specific platform that works for you, and if that works for you, then make it work. And then you can also like to search for other alternatives. Like for example, custom GPT. We have a workshop, a demo later, and a discussion by Leanne for the next speaker. So that will be talked about more. So here are some of the things that you can do, like add copy, email, blog, and podcast. And of course, content repurposing is very helpful, especially for marketers in the room. So yes, and here are some tips that I can share. We can explore more about the custom GPT in the next session, but basically what it does is it allows you to have your own personality, like own resources. So if you have like sample works, like especially if you are writing for as your voice, that you can upload all this like previous works that you have to help you understand. So you have a more natural voice in terms of tone. And yeah, and basically just be careful also with generic outputs. Most of this comes up if you have a generic prompt. So we'll discuss more about prompt engineering in a bit. So advanced prompting, which is basically prompt engineering, is how you can achieve a more specific output. And custom GPT is one of those things that you can actually do, and also with prompting. And speaking of prompting, there's this, I can recommend this website called promptadvance.club. It's a website that allows you to have different prompts. I'll just have a quick demo, diba? I didn't expect this. So with prompts, like for example, Prompt Advance, thank you. So in Prompt Advance, you can have here like various prompts by ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. And here are some examples that you can see, like visible reback. Basically like mga ano siya, there's for HR, for health, different categories. So you can explore this later on for more info about that. And another thing that I would recommend is you can scan this QR code, it's small. But basically it's a book called Prompt Engineering. So if you want to have like an in-depth knowledge of how it works, to how basically to have to prompt better, I would recommend looking into this. This is a white paper study. This is basically the content of that book. Like I will medyo na siya table of contents. So mga LLM output and stuff. The goal here is you don't have to be a developer or a very technical person to help you prompt better. And basically good prompting, better prompts generate better results. And that's basically the goal for us, to have more specific output. So the next part is web development and automation. So with this one, this is mostly for developers, but even like designers or even non-developers. There's a mention here like it can help you with code debugging, like for those developers, or even like non-developers trying to code, learning how to code. So it can help you with that. And what I've realized also, like with the term vibe coding, this is a very controversial word that is being used by the non-developer community. And in fact, some developers that I know, they don't like the word vibe coding, but what it means is basically coding with AI. So it's just a fancy marketing term, I would say. And automations can, with workflows, that's basically the goal. We have also another workshop later, like with AI agents. So this is mostly with helping you with automations, like for example, so kind of siya. Then next, here are some tips that you can consider. One is pairing any of your favorite AI tool with Python for like complex automations. For example, like we have like N8N. So basically, it's another platform. Like we will have a demo later with Ange. And there are but you don't need to know how to code, like to do automations is what I'm saying. There are low risk automation tools as well. Like if you're familiar with high level platforms, so you can also do automations there. And in fact, like for the registration, we kind of did a little bit of automation there. And yeah, ganun siya. So another trivia about vibe coding earlier. Then the third way to actually improve your workflow is through like organizing or planning how you do your life. So you have this tools. The new tool here is Notebook LM. It's basically also by Google. It's mostly used by students for like it allows you to upload a lot of like mga resources, and it summarizes, digests this information, and in fact it can turn it into a podcast. Like they're natural sounding na gid siya. So that's something that you can also explore. And yeah, so it can help you with outlining content, presentations, and project. And in fact, fun fact, this presentation, what I actually did with this presentation when I structured this is, I made this last night. I asked around friends, as I mentioned. What I do usually when presenting is, I talk to ChatGPT in like voice message. So I just talk to around like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, just chatting all my thoughts. Then I ask it to help me structure it in a way that it's easily digestible, and also like with call to action later on. So this presentation is mostly done with AI, but also like what I do is after I ask everything, I input my personal like insights and recommendation, and that's basically how we do things. So if before like talking in front takes you a lot of time to prepare, right now it's easier to help you structure. And there's also like if you don't like designing, there's a platform called Gamma, that app. So it can also help you with like automating designs and stuff. But personally, I already have like brand designs and elements, so I don't need it in a way, because I don't like the result from time to time. So I like it more structured. Then another usage of the AI tool is actually for research and learning. So if before the go-to platform for research is Google and type your words there, right now there are already more tools available, especially for advanced research. Like there's this DeepSeek, like Gemini, like all of those tools. Grok is actually by Twitter or X. And then we have those, it's helpful especially if you want to research a specific topic. So, isa sa mga limitations before with ChatGPT is natural limit with the knowledge. But right now, it's really up to date already. So I did try this by, especially with mga worldwide events like happening, mga updates. So it's already updated, and just turn on this search function. Yes, and yeah, here are some tips that you can use. The third one, which is basically asking AI to help you to become a mentor or a coach. I use this like especially with like the startup that I mentioned, like Sprout Team. What I do is like it helps me to think of possible monetization and like how to help me evaluate the startup. So once you know the certain terminologies, if you're well aware of the topics that you want to search about, it can definitely help you with mentor. Another thing with going back to prompt engineering earlier, so we have basically 3 elements to help you make a good prompt. One is context. So if you give more context on the tool, like whether act as a certain platform or act as a certain, like for example, like act as a mentor, like with knowledge, with Y Combinator, Antler, like VC firms and stuff. So if you go very technical with those things in whatever field, then it can definitely give you a more specific answer. Sometimes for health coaches, like for example, if I know of friends, I don't know if you are one of those, yeah. kisa diri ang trying to use like with if nasa mga problem with their not necessarily love lives but with their lives, like you try to ask for advice with ChatGPT. Okay, I see a raise of hand. Thank you for your honesty. So yes, yeah. If, for example, na may not necessarily kaaway but you feel bad about someone and you just wanted to like be objective about yourself, you can definitely do that. And one thing that I can mention also, like I know of a friend, he does that, and his application is helping him decide for his business in a very objective way because he's an emotional person. And what he does is he has this custom GPT with all the personality results ng mga exams that he took. He uploaded it there. And what he does is just ask for advice, like ask as the most objective self without emotions involved, how should I deal with this specific situation? That could be a way how you can apply it. And as I mentioned, it's not very visible, but basically deep research, what it does is, if before you need to pay someone to actually do a research in a certain topic, a very thorough answer. Like for example, you wanted to understand, let's say for example, how freelancers, virtual assistants behave in certain conditions, like with the back pain and everything. So you can try to input it here and give you a very objective, and of course, like with more context and specified input and output, then you can definitely get a very thorough answer. So that's deep research. Then lastly, it's a little bit controversial, especially with the artists. There's creative media and also with personal productivity. So this is one way how to use the existing AI tools. So we have various tools available like Opus Clip. It helps you with trimming the noises of your videos and audios. Then we have 11 Labs, CapCut, Canva, and Moses AI. So you can search more about these later if you're interested into that. It can help you basically with visual design, audio, video, voice, and yeah. Then the tip here is based on experience. It's actually a creative partner, like especially from a marketing perspective. So you want this AI to assist you to simplify your workflows, not necessarily. What I do also, like especially one idea could be like if you want a specific design for a logo, then you can ask like initial basis from AI. Then ask someone to make it more specific, especially if the more specific in mind and medyo gubot ang AI sometimes with delivering this, then you can have someone to help you with it. And yeah, personalizing it basically. So here are three graphic tools that I personally use. Like one is Canva Dream Lab. So if you want like base designs, so in Canva, although this is available for Canva Premium or Canva for Education, if you know someone who's a teacher, so you get free access to it. My mom is a teacher, I have free access to it. And then, but also it's worth paying based on experiences. I know a lot of people using Canva Premium. And then with ChatGPT, recently, I think this was like 2-3 weeks ago, the 4.0 image generation was created with all the Studio Ghibli that you've seen online. In fact, yeah, my profile picture is the Studio Ghibli. And yeah, it gives you, they have way better designs now that is not very AI looking, like compared to ChatGPT, which is very like, this is AI. So this is more natural, and that's basically one of the, we will see more updates like that in other platforms. And in fact, I understand also that there is really a struggle within the community, especially for those artists, because this can actually, in a way, make them more challenged on how they can also monetize their craft. Because some of the easy stuff, okay, pwede naman yung buhaton. So that's a discussion within the community. Well, here's my quick tip on how to actually apply all these AI existing tools available. We have this framework called the AAA. One is awareness, know what tools are available today. Then continue to search for more. Then two is try to adapt, like small cases. You don't have to put everything to rely on one tool for all of your workflows. Because sometimes there are other tools for specific implementation. And of course, adaptation is personalizing your workflow based on your needs and requests and demands. So should you pay or is the free version of the platforms enough? I would recommend that start with free. Then if there is already like an ROI, or let's say if you're a freelancer and your client is paying for it, then that could be a good option. An alternative mindset would be if you're actually being more productive with paid platforms and there's ROI there, and basically it's just a small tool. How much is 1,000 pesos per month, for example, and using these tools? So here, di lang siya visible, but here are some testimonials that I got from people and how they use AI in their workflows. One is there's a mention of basically ChatGPT and Gemini and podcast and research and Claude and basically katutanan. So this is basically the specific context that I use, that I feed when I try to create this presentation. So these are testimonials from my friends who are already using it in their own platforms. But this is also something to be conscious about. One is generic outputs lead to generic results. Two is there are some platform limitations, especially for the free tools, something to be mindful about. Data privacy is huge, especially if there are sensitive information. I advise against using it because by default, for example, ChatGPT is naka-on iyang like improve for everyone. What it means is basically it uses all your inputs to improve the platform. So if you don't like that, don't do any client information. And of course, I'm still in that area that AI is not a replacement. It's actually an assistant. And in fact, the next talk is how we can use this AI assistant to help freelancers or marketers or business owners improve their existing workflows. And what you can try today are some of the things that you can explore. So brainstorm. I think most of you are already doing it, which is good. And if you're not, then something to consider about. Another is like the last part, number 5, is using automation. It's not limited to Zapier and AI, but most of the platforms, they have their automation. So we'll also have a demo later about the automation using AI agents. And I think that was yesterday or the other day, we had this new Canva event, like Code Uncharted. Anyone has seen it? A raise of hand? Okay, 2, 3. So for those who haven't seen it, it's basically they've announced new features like the Visual Suite 2.0. Basically, it allows you to have multiple files formats in just one presentation, like the website, the design for landing page, or just like photo or like a video. So, but the highlight there, one of the highlights for me is basically creating it with AI and how to implement it. But what I realized, like a common feedback that I got from that is basically it's just a layer of other tools are already doing it, like for example ChatGPT. So you can already, especially if you're in the paid version, so you can already do it, like changing the background or changing certain elements to make it better. And here are some things to be concerned, not necessarily concerned, but also like to be watchful in the next coming months, if not years, like more AI agents, and we're having a training in a bit, and we have other more demos. Like one tip, Google Gemini is basically free, and although if you're in the premium Google Drive or a storage, then you can access more features. But if you're not, then I would recommend to consider like AI Studio, that google.com, So you can access all the premium Gemini features here. So that's a tip. And we also have multimodal AI. So currently we're already having in the photo and the audio, like helping you transcribe or helping you improve that photo, like the Studio Ghibli, for example. But later on, we'll have more videos, and that's something that we can definitely look into. And lastly is personal AI, which is helpful with mentorship, with mental health, and also coaching. And here are some key takeaways that hopefully you can consider. So AI is here to stay. So it's not going away. Like the people that will be disrupted are those who don't know how to use it. And this meetup and more meetups like this is helping us actually improve our like productivity. I read from a recent study about the future of work. Like there are several works in the next few years that will be gone and disrupted by technology. But it will also create more work opportunities for those who know how to use it. So that's something to be mindful about. And use these tools to allow you to save time. So if too complex, you don't understand it, and you can't delegate it to someone, then you're doing it wrong, to be honest. And yeah, make your own workflow that works for you based on your needs. And if you want to know more about this, one thing is like talking to your favorite AI assistant, then ask like how can I improve my workflow and share your existing workflow and like with add more context like with all the recent updates and stuff, like what are the tools that you can potentially use. And of course, stay curious and be open to new updates because the good thing about competition, especially in the AI tools, is that it will get cheaper over time, especially for the paid platform. So it's a win for everyone. So utilize all these tools and yeah, looking forward to all of you. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something today.
Thank you so